Welcome back. You're watching IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. In this segment, my colleague Rohan Richard will be in conversation with Krsnaa Mehta, founder of Godrej India Circus, who's going to talk to us about some of the key trends shaping India's home decor sector. Over to you, Rohan.
Thank you, Ritvika. Today, I'm in conversation with a brand that offers contemporary chic and sophisticated styles. India Circus by Krsnaa Mehta is a Godrej Venture that offers affordable home decor and personal accessories. The brand has a diverse and distinct palette in a bid to represent India through its tone and designs. Welcome to the show, Mr. Mehta.
Pleasure being with you too, Rohan. Thank you.
Mr. Mehta, talk to us about Godrej India Circus and the journey thus far.
But I think the whole idea behind India Circus had its roots many, many years ago when I was studying in the United States, and I wanted to carry, gifts back for friends. And I used to notice that there was nothing available except, traditional things. There was nothing sort of that was depicting an India that was interesting and coming of age. You can't give elephants and Ganeshas and all the time. So at design school, I sort of realized my mission was to create design that was contemporary, that was sort of India centric, but at the same time had a very exotic, sort of romantic visual appeal, so that people would like to sort of buy the stuff for their home and as gifting. And everywhere I was sort of creating this signature sort of design style that has now become synonymous with my name, sort of so as to say. And one fine day, a sort of group of friends said, why are you working for other people? Do something of your own and on your own. And I said, it needs money, it needs this, it needs that. But anyway, they helped me start India Circus, which I think, looking back now, was probably the best decision ever. Even though it's now a Godrej entity and brand, I mean, the family is extremely supportive, and they see the potential in what we're doing.
A study by Research and Markets projects that India's home decor market will be worth $33.45 billion in 2023 and is expected to reach $40.98 billion by 2028, growing at a CAGR of 4.14%. What are the key drivers of growth in the sector, according to you?
I think exposure. The Indian consumer today is exposed to a lot more than what they were. And this was, of course, pre-pandemic as well. And during the pandemic, again, the average sort of Indian consumer was exposed to a lot of visual on, social media, be it Instagram and be it online issues or magazines and things. So, and home improvement became a very important sort of point in that time of the sort of mid 2020 sort of onwards. So there was already a trajectory in terms of lifestyle and magazines and people wanting to live better. And then the pandemic sort of accelerating that to make the home one of the most important parts of one's sort of space to be. And I mean, the market size is amazing, and there's such brilliant players in the market. If you see what other people, what other industries are doing in terms of just textile or just sheeting and just this, I mean, the whole design language has gone a level up. I mean, everybody wants to do better. No one wants to sort of provide a consumer with really bad design or really bad quality, which is a good thing, I think.
What factors have contributed to the growth and success of Godrej India Circus in the home decor market, and how has the company positioned itself to stand out among the competition?
The key about India Circus is great design, great style, great price, and great quality, right? So we always wanted to provide great quality and great design at the same time have the price right. And that's what we've done. I mean, I never thought in my life I would be selling a set of 5 cushion covers for $9.99, but that product itself has sort of changed the game for us, because people aspirational, but we are sort of coming down to various levels of the spectrum, and that's what works.
In what ways have you diversified your product offerings and expanded your customer base to drive revenue growth?
We are trying to sort of create an India Circus lifestyle, if I may say that, where we are sort of recommending to people how their living room can look with cushions in place, with a nice wallpaper, with a rug, with a lamp, and things like that. So the other categories we fleet past. I mean, we do sort of trend things, like we are doing umbrellas now, which is done very well for us and continues to do very well for us. Our own designs on umbrellas, different kinds of techniques of umbrellas as well. So what I'm doing now is we are staying away from stationery and little accessories that crowd the warehouse and don't help with the top line.
What is your perspective on key legislative initiatives such as Make in India and Vocal for Local in the context of India's home decor market?
Interestingly, we were always made in India. So we put 95% of our product is made in India. We commission Indian manufacturers, we commission Indian artisans, we commission Indian companies across the board. A good example to give you on this is Godrej is celebrating 125 years, and Mr. Godrej, Jamshed Godrej, insisted that everything in the package that was given out, and I'm talking about 25,000 cases of gifts, was made in India. So we jigged everything. Even though it was much cheaper to make it elsewhere, it was more easier to make it elsewhere. I won't say where, but we rejig everything to make in India. And it's not easy, but we managed it. And this is something that we're continuously sort of doing. And even at Godrej, with all our sustainability ventures, with mangrove conservation, with all these things that we're doing, we were one of the first players in the industry that was India-based. I mean, a lot of our competition, if you see, is making in China. So we are good in that aspect.
What key trends do you see taking shape in the country's home decor market?
I think the key is to educate consumers more. But anyway, talking about trend, I think that more people, with the help of brands like India Circus, like Asian Paints, brands that are educating the consumer, I think homes are getting more personal. I think that's one trend where people want to, do a wallpaper, want to sort of do an interesting wall color, want to do things that make their space interesting. And the other trend is actually wanting to buy made in India. So people ask, is this made in India? Where is this made? So I think that's also a very important part of what we do. And the third thing I think is licensing. I think that being a design house ourselves, we can lend design to other manufacturers.
Mr. Mehta, Leaders of Tomorrow in its 11th season has ideas for New India as its theme. According to you, what are some of the big ideas that will shape India's home decor sector?
I think the Make in India initiative needs to be taken more seriously. I mean, we have been working with Indian manufacturers and Indian craftsmen and handymen. Our quantities are only going up. We are not seeing an issue in quality, but we do at source, sourcing, QC, quality control team, etc., handles a lot of rejections. You will never see it because it's rejected. So the Indian market in general, the Indian manufacturing market needs to up its game in terms of providing constant quality, innovation, and development going forward. Okay. So I think another interesting idea was that builders today are making an effort to do interesting show houses. They're making an effort to really show the whole development, whether it's a second home, first home. I mean, you're seeing good quality stuff. And I would encourage builders again to not go the super clean way, but to actually work with Indian designers to create sort of show flats or communities, whether it's a housing project or it's a building project, where they're showing a definitive contemporary Indian lifestyle in public areas, so that people see something different. I think everyone is too used to seeing the same thing, and there are lots of builders now in, say, Goa or North India or even in Maharashtra that are, or even Telangana and other places like that, where there's such big projects, and I think they all need help. So I would love them to ask us for help. And I think the other thing is we at India Circus have a very tight offline model. Each of our stores are only 400 to 500 square feet. We have about 16 of them. We're expanding to 40 before the end of this year. The idea of having a small store is, of course, controlling costs and breaking even. But the issue is that, I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, retail in this country with the costs that are entailed is difficult. So I would again want to work with mall owners and and high street sort of managers to figure out how brands can expand their footprint in this country at the same time being profitable.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta. It was a pleasure interacting with you.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you.